Right. Anyway, I want to move on and talk about this person that's been making noise on social media, Lil Mama, aka Bow Wow, aka the voice of the young struggle face. But anyway, let's get into it. So Lil Mama is back at it again after making comments last week about transgender children, okay? Which included a conspiracy theory about depopulation, right? This week she took to Instagram Live where she shared her opinion on kids changing their genders before puberty. Here is what she initially had to say.
Because if my niece comes to me and she say, Auntie, I want to be a boy, and I'm like, why, Chinky? Oh, because I was watching a show with Sasa, and boys are very strong. They know how to shoot basketballs. They win when it comes to like tussling and little fights. And I'm like, well, you don't have to be a boy for that. And I can explain these
Right.
things to her that she may be confused about. But if she's telling me, I think that I am a boy, and she still feels that after she goes through puberty, I'm not going to label her insane. I'm going to listen to her, take heed, and support her. But we're talking about making children feel like they can make a choice of changing their genitals before they even go through puberty. You don't even know who you
Right.
are or what you like. Young women
Right.
are talking about BBLs and things like that before their breasts and their buttocks are even fully developed. So we
That's
have to
right.
be very sensitive and mindful when we're dealing with our children. We are not talking about grown people who can make the choice to do and be what because
Okay, and it loops. Yeah, here's my thing with that. I just want to just say that at first, when I heard that part, because she was on live for like longer than that. It was many other clips. We're not gonna get into it, but when she was talking about how, okay, let me just tell my child to wait until after puberty. Yeah, I mean, like she's saying things that we can't really contest, but like then you go in and then talk about depopulation and how the system is trying to kill people off. They're trying to kill like over 1 billion people because then they were going in talking about how there's like something in the water, like there's something in infamils and formulas that give the children that's making boys, more feminine and girls more masculine and make them like you go off by saying something like that and then you turned it to something completely different. Yeah, you're gonna get some backlash for it. And my problem is it's always been like, oh my goodness, like they're gonna cut off the genitalia at a young age. First of all, it takes 3 seconds to Google to find out that you need to be at least 18 years old. That's considered sex reassignment is considered cosmetic, right? Okay.
Yes.
So you need to be 18 years of age. There's no consent at all. Like you can't get like, back, you get a nose job at like 15 if your parents consent. No, it's not like that. You need to be 18, period. Okay. It takes 3 seconds to Google, guys. It takes 3 seconds. These kids are not like we understand. Like you have to fully grow into your body before you can try to get the reassignment surgery. But to it's just I can't. Like it's like people really think that parents are really doing this to their kids.
No, I think that there were some parts that I agree with Lil Mama as far as like when it comes to children and their identities, and I think that we do have to. There is some I won't say I have to approach it with white gloves on. With understanding the psychology of children, understanding how impressionable they are, and when you have a child who feels like their gender, and I always say that the conversation about sex, biological sex, and gender, there needs to be a conversation first about understanding that they're different. Is that how you decide to show up in the world is a choice that you get to make. And I think that how we look at kids is that they're like these, they don't know anything and they're very green about the world. I think most of the positions when it comes to transgender kids comes from a place of fear when adults address it. Because you understand the world is hard and very critical of people who aren't deemed normal or who don't fall in line with what is considered socially acceptable or doesn't fall into the system of patriarchal white supremacy, which comes with its own respectability politics, which comes with its own threats of, limiting the scope of what is acceptable and humane. And this idea that there are parents out here letting their children chop off their penises or, you know, getting or mutilating their genitals is just so weird to me. But the conversation about mental health when it comes to our kids is something that we all should be having. And it's not, and it in the same vein of kids who suffer from personality disorders, or kids who suffer from depression and anxiety, kids who suffer from, you know, other ailments that makes it hard for them to feel socially accepted or to maneuver. I just feel like it's like you said, it's a lack of education.
It's a lack of education, yeah.
And Mama kind of took it too far. She's like, I'm gonna start a heterosexual rights. Like,
well, she said that after she got backlash from that live stream that she had.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, you have your opinion, that's fine. You can be, but people be loud and wrong, and that's my only thing. Like, why you be loud and wrong? Like, the information is out there and it's available to you. You can have an opinion on a lot of things, but if you're gonna be loud, just be loud and right. Like, be loud and educated and informed.
And let's get into the
loud and wrong.
Right. And let's get into the whole thing when she said that she's gonna start a straight rights movement because heterosexual people have been getting attacked and bullied on social media. People are calling them out. It's a lot. I've been on TikTok a lot. There's a lot of people that are calling people out for being homophobic, racist, this and the third, yada, yada, yada. And now you're making a straight rights movement because, oh my God, like, you guys are bullying me. You guys are, oh my God, like, because I said my opinion, now I don't have a right to say my opinion. It's the straight fragility for me. It is the straight fragility for me. A hit dog, a holler. I said this earlier on the show. Like, you guys are calling it bully, but my thing is, like, when have y'all never had rights? When have heterosexual people never had rights? When have y'all been street harassed? When have y'all been kicked out of your homes? When have y'all been, I mean, the list goes on, jumped, bullied, killed, okay, for being who you are or loving who you want to love, okay? You never been through that, okay? You're just being called out on social media by a lot of people and you're getting mad about it, okay? And that's just basically what it is. I mean, what would the meeting be about? And it's people in the comments. That's why I be off Facebook. It's people in the comments saying, "Well, isn't LGBT rights isn't that anti-straight?" No,
it's the same conversation they have about reverse racism.
Right?
Like, heterophobia is a real thing. Like, no, nigga. Like, you're making that up in your head and just calling a thing a thing. Me saying that what you're doing is incensing homophobia or transphobia is more to say that you should be careful with your words and the attitudes that you're promoting. Now, you're, like I always say, I will protect freedom of speech. You have the right to your opinion about things. However, if what you're doing or saying is putting other people in harm's way, you have to be held accountable and responsible for that. Now, at the same time, Lil Mama has been on the receiving end of transphobic comment. Like, even when you introduced this story, you introduced her as Lil Bow Wow, and it's a joke that it's entertaining, it's funny, but it's also transphobic because
my bad.
Well, no, I'm saying because this is a cisgender heterosexual biological female, a woman that when she was younger, when she entered the game, like, that was an attack on her, is that people were saying that she was a hermaphrodite or that she was a boy. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, in knowing that, I would have hoped that she would be more of an ally. Like, even the old clip when Naomi was on America's Best Dance Crew and she pointed, she said, "You were born a man." That is becoming a woman. So if you're going to be a woman, act more like a lady, which spoke to the respectability politics of what does it mean to be a woman. Like there is this ideal of what womanhood is, and if you don't fit that thing, you're not woman enough. So she's been problematic. But I just think it was a misstep in her. It's consistent with what she's already done. But sometimes it's just best to just
shush. Like it's like, why are people talking about things that they first of all don't understand, and you don't live that experience, nor are you an ally to it. So what do you have to gain for this? Okay, because we can almost see we can see
it comes out like you can't handle the discourse. Like it comes off like you can't handle being part of the conversation. So just don't be part of the conversation.
Just don't be a part of it. I can even understand people like to a certain extent. Like I don't fuck with Candace Owens. But like we know why she ticks. Okay, she's getting a check for this shit. Okay, she's getting a check for being this right wing alt-right person. Okay, black person. Right? You got on live. You did this shit for free. You're being hateful for free. Like, what did you have to gain for this? Because we all know. I mean, that career is. You know, we know you haven't been doing much. So I mean, I guess you're clinging to. I guess trying to do outreach groups and talk to people and talk to different hoteps and stuff like that on your live. Like, girl, hush. Don't make no sense. I mean, honey, little mama need to go ahead. She need to go ahead. She need to be working on some music. Shit, that's what I shit. Because I was a fan back in the day. Her little bit of her little discography that she had, you know, it was. No, but look, I was a fan of hers until she started opening her mouth. That's a lot of these celebrities. I'll be a fan of y'all until y'all start opening y'all mouths. Like, if you really don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. And it's at the end of the day, you know, people gonna be who they are. Don't ever try to sit there, because I am offended because you're trying to say that, okay, it's because of this, this is the reason why you're gay. No, it's because, no, bitch, I am the reason that I'm gay, okay? I'm the reason that I chose this lifestyle that I've chose. It's not because that there's some kind of depopulation from the government. They're trying to, they even went as far as to say it's not even, it's affecting everybody. It's affecting whites, blacks, everybody. The government is trying to kill a billion people or some shit like that. You think the government want to really do that shit? I mean, let's really get into it. If it's not like, if it's, as if they're not like taxed, like they're not getting money off of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think they want to like get rid of people? I don't believe that.
Well, right. It goes against the idea that, okay, well, people who are conservative or do believe that there's depopulation effort at hand. Like, is it targeted? Like, is there a type of people that they want? Because I always thought that the government, or especially when it comes to conservative values, like they want more babies born. So I get the whole, I'm against trans and LGBT stuff because it doesn't lead to population. But at the same time, it's like, ain't nobody stopping you heterosexuals from having babies. So maybe y'all should focus on having y'all's family of 10, 12 kids again. Where's the movement for the straight people to multiply themselves into poverty like there are for other people?
Okay.
Y'all worried about having all these kids. You worried about, you know, depopulation. Well, go make some more babies.
Okay.
And then maybe you can stay at home and make sandwiches for your husband because you're gonna be pregnant.
Straight people kill me.
Go repopulate. Mind y'all business and go repopulate. Don't worry about what the gays are doing.
And that's just the thing. Just because y'all put yourselves in a box, I heard that before. I'll be on woke Twitter, honey. It's because y'all put yourselves in a box. Don't try to put us in the box, honey. We're outside of it, and we're gonna stay out of it. We're not going back in. Okay, we're not going nowhere. So I think what we need to do, and I said this on a video I made on TikTok or whatever. I think if we both just, y'all stop talking about us, we'll stop clapping back at y'all. Okay, why don't we just stop the conversation, because it's not getting anywhere. It's not helping anything. You guys are sounding stupid. You guys are getting canceled. You guys are, you know, you because Safari done jumped in the conversation. Like, he over here talking about some, oh my God, there's a major or minor in gender and sexuality studies. Like, oh my goodness, the end is coming, and like, what are y'all? How y'all gonna get it? How y'all gonna get work with this degree and this, that, and the third? I'm like, you clearly never went to college, so. I mean, I just.
You got a real job and want to ask about majors in college?
Yeah, right. Got a real job, honey. You lucked up. You lost your entire credibility, child. It's just people just jumping in, and it's just I can't. Just everybody just let's just stop talking about it, and we just gonna move on. Okay, you do you do you. I'm gonna do me. Now,
Mm. If I heard that correctly, child.
okay, her what?
I'm like, Safari?
Yeah, Safari chimed
Okay.
in. Yeah,
Focus on your divorce.
right. We've seen we've seen you get dumped 3 times in the public eye. Worry about that. Okay. And stop worrying about what people are majoring in, because at the end of the day, and I did an interview with, because we have that minor. It's a new minor in gender and sexuality studies. And it's basically, it's an add-on. Like if you're a business major and you have that on your belt, it looks good for, to get it, oh my goodness, like he's diverse. Like he took classes in queer studies and this, that, and third. Like it's an add-on. Okay. And it's also optional. You don't have to take it. The lack of education is just so aggravating.